Got my legal hustle, welcome to the trap. I can blow a stack, bet I make it back. You can hit my line if you need a track. But we can't even talk if it ain't about the bag.
What's going on, y'all? It's the kid J Nolan here. Now, y'all know I typically like to use my platform for education purposes. Today, it's no different, man. I want to go over this new act that's been put out there that's trying to get radio in America to pay royalties to artists. Now, some of y'all may check out at this point because you're not in the music business. You have no aspirations to be in it. I understand it, and that's perfectly fine. But if you want to learn more about this situation going on, be sure to stay tuned in. And for all my artists, songwriters, management, and music professionals, let's get it. So the name of this new act is called the American Music Fairness Act. All right. And the main objective of the American Music Fairness Act is to get terrestrial now, to pay royalties to artists. What is terrestrial radio? We're talking about AM stations, FM stations, local stations. They're going to have a smaller bit of royalties to pay because they don't have the big budget as your mainstream radio stations in all of your cities. But this thing is about to be big, and hopefully it gets passed very soon. I know some of y'all got music bumping on your local radio stations. Y'all like, man, it would be so nice if I could get compensated for them spins. Now, this has nothing to do with satellite radio. This has nothing to do with XM. This has nothing to do with internet radio, digital. No, that's a whole other thing. Go to SoundExchange to get that. We talking about the big boys. Now, radio stations do pay songwriters, but they don't pay the actual artists and performers, which sometimes you can be doing both, but only be getting paid for one piece. This is also going to help artists who get a big hit popping and don't get to have that same amount of success at a later time. If you ever just get that one big joint, this is something that's going to help pay you residually over the span of your lifetime if it continues to get played. A lot of people like to joke about one-hit wonders. Oh, that's a one-hit wonder. But a lot of people out here, myself included at this point, are no-hit wonders. So we can't joke about nobody that actually broke through the ceiling at least one good time to take care of their family and do something monumental that only a small percent of people in this world will ever get to experience. Speaking of which, one of hip-hop's most talented artists, he's an actor as well. He goes by the name of Common. Have you heard of him? He's a very big supporter of this act. He even released an open editorial on Variety. I'm going to give you this little snippet here where he talks about the smaller artists, because it's very rare that people who have reached big success actually give about the ones coming up. He says, "This fight isn't about me. It's about the thousands upon thousands of everyday artists whose names most people will likely never know, but whose contributions are essential to making the soundtracks to our lives. They are the session musicians and background singers, the producers and engineers who make the musical magic happen. And most of them are just regular people trying to make a living and feed their families by doing what they love. The American Music Fairness Act will help them do that by ensuring that the fruits of their labor are not only recognized and respected, but also compensated accordingly, because for them, these songs are not a commodity. They are their livelihoods." Here's another piece where Common goes in depth. He says, "Unfortunately, none of these artists of color." Now, when he talks about the artists of color, it's documented that at least half of the artists that are on the Billboard charts are POCs, right? People of color from different diverse backgrounds, 38% of which are black. So that's who he's referencing. Let's get back to it. "None of these artists of color have ever received a single penny for the hundreds of thousands of times that their songs have been spun on AM, FM radio, leaving some of our brightest stars to struggle through their golden years while big broadcast corporations continue to play and profit off their life's work. The American Music Fairness Act would finally right this wrong and begin to make these artists and their families whole after decades of exploitation." Common's not the only person that's supporting this thing, man. We have Dionne Warwick, who's in support, Harry Belafonte, Jack White, Becky G, Sydney Lauper, and Gloria Estefan, who have all signed off on this bill and are trying to push this thing into legislation. Representatives from the Recording Academy, who holds the Grammys. You also have representatives from SoundExchange and other notable organizations that are in favor of artists and songwriters that are urging this thing to go through. Now, we necessarily, us regular everyday people, we can't necessarily vote on this. We can't sign off on this thing. But what we can do is bring more awareness to it so people know that this is going on, which will in turn possibly influence the senators and governors and all of these people that have a vote to make this thing happen. Again, this may be one of my lesser viewed videos. I know this is a bit above everyone's pay grade, but this is very important. A lot of us use YouTube and all of our social media platforms in order to find out about new music, see what's trending in music. Music is such an integral part of our lives. It's very important that we're aware and understanding of how the people that create this stuff are being compensated and pushing for that to be as much as possible, because they do so much for our everyday regular lives. Let me know what you guys think of this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. Share this video, man. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the channel, because all I really do is talk about music business, music news, entertainment news, anything that's in that wheelhouse. I'm all on it, okay? I'm going to catch you guys on the next video. Much love and respect, y'all. Peace.